Yeah, I'm going to talk about again, censorship by whom? Like, if you think about gossip and busybodies, that's actually it's understood. The church is a bunch of gossiping busybodies, and when I say the church, I mean the false church. This is the common church that we have. It's Antichrist. Peter and Paul, what were they dealing with? They were dealing with Gnostics, right? Pretending to be Christians, and it wasn't like a minor issue in their time. It was a major issue, and the Gnostics that they were fighting against, they were much more received by like a godless pagan people. So even in their time, the apostles were fighting with this church. The church is, because in our modern day, we're dealing, if you just think about the Gnostics for a second, and the dialogues that are given by the censors. The Roman Catholic Church is Gnostic. They are not Christians. They're not faithful. And they're censoring dialogues. And their ridiculous, dishonest rhetoric is, what they're trying to say is that Peter and Paul were Catholics and they were fighting Gnostics, and the modern Catholics are like Peter and Paul. Well, that's not true. The modern Catholics are like the Gnostics Peter and Paul were up against. And they're playing a game with the people, because the Gnostic type of religion, that's what the Roman Catholics believe in. That's what they present. And you just look at simple things like the Gnostic Gospels. You can dismiss the Gnostic Gospels for valid, rational reasons, but the censors, they don't want you to have these understandings of why the Gnostic Gospels aren't actually legitimate. And who's behind that? The same Catholics who are behind all this other nonsense, they're behind this confusion. And believe any of these topics is going to be censored. They're doing it now. They're still doing it. And people should recognize, when you have religious people censoring dialogue, they're not minutely, partially guilty. They are the most villainous of people. And to really understand the level of what criminality is, we live in a modern day where the amenities for humanity are so great. People should get on very fine if, they want to be honest. We have everything we need. But the thing is that the corrupt, the Nephilim, the spiritually corrupt, they don't want human values. They want abuse. They want exploitation. And people who are aligned with Catholicism, they are the guilty parties. And it's not a shortage of these people. Almost entirely everybody in the United States population is aligned with this Catholic mentality. Again, I mentioned, when people have any kind of troubles in life, they see it as a Catholic problem. It's a personal problem. There's no societal problems. If you look at like Donald Trump, when he was in office initially, he was saying, I'm with you, I'm working with you. He said this he made a point to say this at least every month. And I'm sure he said it several times. But the Catholics didn't want that. The Catholics wanted to say, no, you are a God unto yourself. You don't need anybody, you just need yourself. You are the God. And the CIA, and that's Catholic. They're shooting at this guy. You don't hear him say it so much anymore. And all of the censors on the internet were trying to say, yeah, everything's good. We just got to let Donald Trump solve all our problems. People don't need to do anything. We have a leader that will, and that's a Catholic dialogue. Because what they don't want people to address is the societal responsibilities of people. That's your biblical narrative. The Bible is always about community and what? Lawful civics, not a religious exemption, which is what Catholics sell as this religious exemption. We are in a lawless state with these people. And again, you can always point out the fallacy in their arguments with Scripture, but they're always going to censor it. And it becomes a problem. What was Jesus? Was he a communist? No. Communists are a godless, self-serving, lawless people. This is in the seat of Satan, just like the Pharisees. The Pharisees would be communists. Jesus was against the communists. But was Jesus a socialist? Of course he was. He was for civics and law. When he had Paul, did Paul become a lawless mystical hypocrite. No, he became an advocate for human civics, as all the apostles were. But the Catholics, they're not advocates for civics. They're advocates for religious lawlessness. They want open borders so that the lawless hypocrites can flood the nation and enslave humanity, kill off all that is humane. That's what their goal is. And the censors are the ones defending their preposterous positions.